Hello and welcome to the 2026 Big West Men's Volleyball Preview presented by the Hawaiian Islands. I'm Chloe Clark alongside Rob Aspero, and today we're here at the LBS Financial Credit Union Pyramid at Long Beach State, home of the reigning 2025 national champions. This building has been the center of college volleyball excellence, and with Long Beach State securing 3 national titles in the last 7 seasons, this program has firmly established itself as a powerhouse in the sport.
And it's not just the beach. The Big West continues to dominate on the national stage. The conference now boasts 10 national championships, 5 coming in just the last 7 years. The Big West is setting the standard for men's volleyball across the country.
And the bar just keeps rising. We have to look back on last year's postseason because it was another incredible chapter in our conference's story.
Last season's Big West championship match saw number 2 seed Hawaii against number 1 seed Long Beach State battle it out in front of more than 8,500 fans. Hawaii came out victorious, claiming their 4th title in the last 6 years, and Long Beach State went on to cap their season with a 4th national championship, sweeping UCLA and becoming the 2nd team in program history to reach a 30-win milestone. With all that momentum, 2026 is shaping up to be another dynamic year in Big West men's volleyball. With the Hawaiian Islands presents the 2026 Outrigger Big West Men's Volleyball Championship returning to the Brennan Events Center at UC Irvine. Fans can expect the atmosphere to be packed with intensity from start to finish.
Before we fast forward to April, we'll break down the teams poised to make noise all season long. It's time to get you set with the players, coaches, stats, and storylines you need to know. Up next, after a quick break, we serve things up with a closer look at the defending national champions, Long Beach State and CSUN. All that and more when the 2026 Big West Men's Volleyball Preview presented by the Hawaiian Islands returns.
Welcome back to the 2026 Big West Men's Volleyball Preview presented by the Hawaiian Islands. Here's Chloe with a closer look at the schedule for Long Beach State.
From January 14th through 17th, the Beach will take a trip to Ohio to play Central State before facing George Mason and Ohio State in a tournament hosted by the Buckeyes. In a rematch of last year's national championship game, the Beach hosts UCLA on February 6th. Rob had the chance to sit down with new head coach Nick McCray and senior captains Skylar Varga and Connor Bloom.
On stream with me today are outside hitter Skylar Varga, outside hitter, defensive specialist, and serving specialist Connor Bloom, and head coach Nick McCray of Long Beach State, the national champions in 2025. You guys are coming off a remarkable 2025 season, resulting in a 4th national championship for the Beach. Can you share your thoughts on last season?
Yeah, it was a pretty unforgettable season, to be honest, and no better way to end it off with a championship and a ring. But I'm honestly really excited for this season because I think we have just as good of a group and a group that gets along, and we're going to just try and do it again this year.
Can you talk about the seniors on the team and what they mean to the Beach?
But from a coaching staff, we went through our seniors to help lead our team culture standpoint and help at least guide us what are this year's Long Beach State men's volleyball team standards, the non-negotiables going to be. So that's another reason as a staff how we make sure to go through these 2 and the other 3, so all 5 seniors, create our standards list, the non-negotiables, and then we work through our seniors to deliver that to the team as well. So they are very special to this year's team, and of course, their legacy has already been put in place for years to come.
What are your guys' senses of how this Long Beach State team looks and where can they go? And we'll start with you, Connor.
I think we can do great things as a team. Individually, we got a lot of guys that will continue to play after they're done and they're graduating, and they'll continue to represent their countries. And as a team, I think we'll do very well this year.
We're going to be dangerous this year and not to underestimate us, I guess.
Well, I can't help but mention that the Big West is a slugfest. What is it like going to Big West Conference play once the non-conference is done?
Yeah, like you said, it's an absolute slugfest, and it's not something you can take lightly, and you need to be dialed in. That's where things get serious, and there's a lot of good teams out there that are really want to take, I guess, a win from us. So,
in your eyes, as competing student athletes, who do you see as a leading candidate for Big West Player of the Year? And it could be someone from your team. I'm going to put that out there.
I'll say Skylar Varga.
There you go.
Yeah, I'd be stupid not to bet on myself. So, absolutely.
All right. That's Skylar Varga, Connor Bloom, and head coach Nick McCray of Long Beach State. Great spending the time with you today, guys.
CSUN starts on the road for their first 5 games on the season, playing in their 21st A6 Invitational. The Matadors then welcome first-time opponents LIU, Fort Valley State, and Edward Waters. Here's Rob with Matadors head coach Theo Edwards and redshirt junior Jalen Phillips.
I'm here with Theo Edwards and Jalen Phillips of CSUN. The Matadors coming in hot for this 2026 Big West season. Good chilling with you guys today, and always an exciting time of the year.
Thanks for having us, Rob.
Now, how do you roll your experience from last year into 2026? Because you obviously have some key losses with some phenomenal athletes, but you also return quite a few.
Yeah, I think for us, it's trying to build on where we were. The loss of Donovan Constable and Lorenzo Bertozzi are massive, right? Those guys were tremendous for us and had a huge impact on our program. But I think that we look different. I think we retooled the offense a little bit and have kind of changed our philosophy about how we approach it. It's really just about growing as a team and trying to kind of keep the momentum from the things we built on last year.
You've got to experience Jalen's growth from year 1 to year 4. I remember having the discussions with you about how exciting that this player you had coming in was from back in the day when Jalen was just a mere freshman. But what's it like for you as a head coach to see his transformation from year 1 to year 4?
I mean, it's pure joy. I think, to be fortunate enough to be able to coach an athlete of Jalen's caliber is just absolutely incredible. I think a lot of people see him and see who he is as a volleyball player, but maybe don't get an opportunity to know who he is as a person. And I think that's the part that is truly incredible. I've always had a vision for the player that he could be, and he surpassed that a long time ago. So it's an absolute joy, and I'm excited to see how it ends the last 2 years of his career.
I got to ask you, what has got you most excited about entering the 2026 season?
I'm most excited to just compete. I think it's been a while since I really got to play. So kind of just really looking forward to playing some of the guys that I got to spend some time with over the summer for sure. Like getting a chance to really test our mettle against the other guys in the conference and, the other teams around.
And for you, Theo, what new faces have been really developing ahead of schedule in your eyes?
Yeah, I think the biggest one that's gonna leave an impact is Owen Doffner. I think Owen is a guy who talent-wise has had the ability to be a starter in this league for multiple years now. And obviously with Donovan kind of leading the pack for us over the past couple of years, Owen has had the ability to just train and improve. And he's gotten a lot better. I think he's really a star in our eyes. I think we have an incredible competition at the libero position too, with both Braden Poole-Harris and Chris Carnizes, who have really been going toe-to-toe this fall. And I think that's going to be a really exciting spot to keep an eye on for sure. In
your eyes, whom do you see as being a Big West Player of the Year candidate?
That's a really good question. Honestly, I think Skylar Varga has a great chance. He's really consistent. He does some really great things with the ball, and I think he is actually a really great leader for that Long Beach squad.
Rob, after getting to know both Long Beach State and CSUN a little more, what are your predictions for each team?
Well, Long Beach State will be without the Money effect and legendary coach Alan Knipe, but they do have a familiar face running the helm in Nick McCray, along with Canadian super baller Skylar Varga. CSUN will be hard to stop with Jalen Phillips at the pin, paired with a talented and experienced lineup. Add in a physical setter and guidance from fourth-year head coach Theo Edwards, and the Matadors will rise to the challenge.
After the break, we'll take a look at UC Irvine and UC San Diego. Welcome back to the 2026 Big West Men's Volleyball Preview presented by the Hawaiian Islands. Chloe Clark here alongside Rob Aspero. Rob, let's preview our next 2 schools, UC Irvine and UC San Diego.
UCI lost a lot of high-caliber talent in AVCA Distinction of Excellence Award recipient Kalir Heno, Nolan Flexen, and Max Grigoriev. But Coach Niff is deep with talent, anchored with a couple of up-and-coming starters from last year. UC San Diego lost a lot but gained a lot. Graduation saw some key personnel move on, but solid transfers teamed up with a core of experienced middles and talented Libros will make the Tritons battle ready. Here's Chloe with a closer look at the schedule for UC Irvine.
UC Irvine opens their home schedule with Princeton on January 14th. The team will spend the next week on the road playing at Pepperdine January 16th before a pair of matches at BYU January 23rd and 24th. Here's Rob with Anteaters head coach David Niffen, along with sophomore middle blocker Micah Goss and libero Shane Aitken.
Thanks for jumping on today, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us.
As you come back from those non-conference matches and go into Big West Conference play, what are your guys' outlook on the Big West, and what could that look like competition-wise in 2026?
We're all making playoffs in the Big West. We are hosting the Big West tournament this year, so that's exciting for us. I think one of the objectives always has to be to fight for one of the top 2 seeds, just so that you're not playing 3 nights in a row, because there is a wear and tear factor. Although, I would anticipate that we're going to be a team that utilizes, 9 or 10 deep in every match that we play. So hopefully we'll have some good experience in the core and we can be flexible, and if we need to be more durable at the end. But the Big West is really entertaining volleyball. And I think one of the really fun things about the Big West teams is you're seeing attendance go up at all the Big West schools. So the actual game environments have improved. Volleyball matters in the Big West, and it matters to those institutions. And you're seeing some institutions put some real effort into making sure the game environment for the physical spectator that shows up is special. So aside from the volleyball, the quality of play, which we've talked about for years, I think that has to be something that we get really excited about, is this like resurgence to the live performance, right? In a world of screens and everything else where we can, on demand click and watch whatever we want. There is something really beautiful and cool about arts and athletics when they're live performances. And I think going to a Big West contest in men's volleyball is a worthwhile night for the family or the individual to go out and experience that.
During this last summer, you gave the Eaters a unique opportunity to participate in international competition at the World University Games. Can you talk about how that came about and that experience, not only for you, but for the guys as well?
The idea of playing international ball has always been a huge opportunity, not just from a volleyball standpoint to play against some of these more established federation teams, but also just the opportunity to get more time with the boys on the road and to travel.
I thought it was so cool to actually see that level of play too, because I've never been exposed to that kind of volleyball before. Something we talked about after the tournament was how focused every player was on the team, completing just focusing on one pass, or the setter focusing on one set and just getting one touch as perfect as they can.
So I think it was a 25 and under tournament, but for a lot of these other countries, those players are actually already playing pro. So for us to get exposed to that level of play, I think was super important for us for this upcoming year, as well as I just love our sport because there's no right way to play the game. So seeing every country had their own kind of style of playing, and we're not really maybe as exposed to that in the NCAA, obviously more and more over the years, being able to see all these different teams and how they play the game in their own way was super fun for us to see and me as well.
Well, with that concludes our UC Irvine segment of the Big West men's volleyball preview. That's Shane Aitken, Micah Goss, and head coach David Niffen. I appreciate your time today.
Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Rob.
UC San Diego will travel to Utah to play BYU twice on January 16th and 17th before heading back home to host national runner-up UCLA on January 23rd. Rob sat down with the UC San Diego head coach, Brad Rostratter, and Leo Provednikov.
Gentlemen, thanks for coming on today.
Good to be here. Good to see you again, Rob. It's been a while.
Well, Brad, I wanted to ask you, with the finish of fall competition, what's your early assessment of what you're seeing on the court for your Tritons?
Well, first, I'm glad we get a little break. We had some of the guys get a little banged up, and we had some bumps and bruises along the way because we have been pushing the guys pretty hard, and they've really responded well through it. But I think ultimately, the first contact is something we keep coming back to. And it hasn't been as consistent as we'd like, but we saw it at times where we could serve and pass at an extremely effective level and at a level that will allow us to be really successful. Then I think the other piece is just kind of some of the block and defense components that we've been able to build upon and grow. And with some of the guys returning like Leo and then also Peter and Jim in the middle, we've seen some growth and progress in that phase to where that was a little bit of a limiting factor for us at points throughout the season last year.
What are you taking into the 2026 campaign based on what you've learned so far during your coaching tenure?
Yeah, I think the biggest piece is, like just continuing to do what we've been doing, to where we don't need to throw everything out. Literally don't need to throw out the baby with the bathwater, as I'm getting all too familiar with throwing in the bathtub. But there's going to be some ebbs and flows throughout the year, throughout the season. And that can be on the individual perspective, the team perspective. And really just my role is kind of being able to identify what the team needs and where the team's at in the present moment, whether it be, in that tough stretch in January or in a stretch in February where we're ramping back up, or in March as we get to conference play, understanding the ebbs and flows of the season and competition, the players and their bodies, and then also the academic rigor that's also going on throughout the course of the season. With us having 2 trips in January, we're fully aware that we're going to have to adjust some of our practice and training to be able to accommodate and allow for our guys to be awesome students too. So yeah, it's kind of, you just learn every year, right? And that's what we're always trying to do, and something that I'm sure there'll be a lot we'll learn after this year too. And that's why we love what we get to do.
I'm curious, as to being one of the top athletes in Division I, 2 men's volleyball, who you think is a Big West Player of the Year candidate in your eyes this upcoming season?
Well, we don't talk about our opponents in a high regard too often, but I think every team has some guys that, could have a breakout year. I think, especially compared to last year, there's going to be a lot of faces that maybe you don't expect to see that can just, break out on every team. But we just had a little scrimmage with Hawaii. I thought they had a couple impressive guys. Their setter, Tread Rosenthal, was pretty solid. So I can see him making a case for it for sure. But I don't know. I think there's also a few guys on our team that can make a case. I think it's just time will tell.
We've got 2 more teams to spotlight, plus a look at our preseason poll and all-conference team. That's coming up right after this on the 2026 Big West Men's Volleyball Preview presented by the Hawaiian Islands. Welcome back. Our final segment features UC Santa Barbara and the defending Big West champions, Hawaii. What do you like about each team heading into the new season?
Behind the volley wizardry of Coach Rick McLaughlin, the Gauchos will grind out points and wins with the best teams out there. Fiery athletes like Cole Schobel and Riggs Guy make the Gauchos one of the hot teams to keep an eye on. Hawaii is a team that can beat you in many ways. Coach Charlie Wade's toughest challenge will be figuring out what his starting 7 will look like, with 6'11" setter Tread Rosenthal running the offense, along with Christian Tetrisky back in the lineup. You know the Bows will be pushing for another deep postseason run. Here's Chloe with more on the Gauchos.
UC Santa Barbara opens up with the A6 Invitational January 8th through 10th, hosting Kentucky State University, Maryville University, and Harvard. In February, the Gauchos play Pepperdine twice and host UCLA on February 25th. Rob has more with Gauchos head coach Rick McLaughlin and junior setter Cole Schobel.
How has the fall competition team looked in your guys' eyes as you've been going through these couple weeks here prior to the start of the 2026 season?
I think our training has jumped a whole notch. And then we got to, in our 4 days that the NCAA gives us to compete, we got to see where we're at, and we lined up a pretty rough schedule. I just think we're a much better team than we were last year.
All right, Cole, I'm going to hit you up with your assessment of the team so far here after fall competition. How are things dialing in for you on the court as a student athlete?
Yeah, no, I like the way, I wasn't here for fall last year, so it's different, getting my first full fall here at Santa Barbara. But I could tell you, just based off of the way things went last year in season, you can't teach people to be competitive. They got to want it on their own. And I feel like now with having a full fall with everyone. I think everyone's in the right mindset. Everyone wants it. People are locked in, bought in for it. So it's good to see, really, like the switch in minds, because I mean we could have guys act all their ways, but just really like talking to them and making sure they're bought into the process too. And I think that's changed a lot. I'm really thrilled with how it's going with all our guys right now.
You're going in your 18th season as head coach in the Big West since 2017. But what have you seen transformationally in the Big West, particularly when it comes to men's volleyball competition-wise?
It just gets better and better each year. Guys are bringing in some very experienced overseas players that just really raise the level. And this conference it's a dogfight. I mean, any team on any night can beat another team, and so there are no easy matches. And really, the cream will rise to the top, and they'll really earn that top spot in the Final Four bid. But I love being in it. I love being in the top conference. We just got to be good enough. That's the bottom line. I think we have the guys to be good enough. We just got to do it.
The Warriors start with an 8-match homestand featuring a pair against both NJIT and Loyola Chicago before hitting the road for 7 straight that culminates at the NIL tournament. Hawaii will open their league slate against Long Beach on March 20th and 21st. Here's Rob with Hawaii head coach Charlie Wade and junior setter Tread Rosenthal.
Another exciting season on tap as always, and always love seeing what you're doing on the island and coming to visit the mainland when you're competing. But I wanted to go back to last season, just kind of like a recap.
Yeah, we had a lot of new guys, like 10, 11 new guys in the program last year, and we really felt if we could hang around, if we could get to the NCAA tournament, that would be really good kind of, for this group going forward. We got most everybody from that group back again this year and next year. So the Big West is loaded again. You're looking at, everybody's really good, and there's going to be multiple teams that are have legitimate sights on competing for national championships. So like you said, last year was a good kind of jumping off point for us with this new group, and looking forward to getting after it this year.
Who could we expect to see as far as new faces wise if they're competing for positions for the Bows?
Yeah, you're going to start with Travell. Had a great summer, played with Tread on the, starting playing on that U21 team. So they got a little jump start on the connection. Really good blocker. And, I think he's going to have a fabulous year for us. Roman Payne, similarly, a little younger, but it's legit 7 feet, if not 7'1" now, and can play the game at a high level. I'd say Finn Kearney's probably the most improved guy in the gym. He's really going to battle and add some real quality depth. We're chomping at the bit for the season to get going. We got a lot of guys that we know can play, and looking forward to getting out there and competing.
Now, we were talking before jumping on about international competition and what you're doing in the off season representing the USA, but you share with our listeners and viewers what you did to get geared up for the 2026 season with USA.
Yeah, I was training with the VNL national team for the first 2 months of summer, and then I had my age group tournament come. We had U21 World Championships in China this summer, so I had about a month of training with them, and then we went off and we got third, which is the best in history, so it was a pretty good summer.
As being in the Big West as long as you have been, and then before the MPSF, what transformation have you seen, particularly in Big West play, that makes it so appealing to compete in?
Well, I think you've got, every institution, volleyball is kind of a big deal, and you got really good coaches, and you're seeing, again, more resources being poured into it, and we've competed, if not won the national championship, competed for it every year since the Big West has come into existence. So, if you're a top level player, whether coming out of high school or somewhere on the planet, you want to play at the highest level. And clearly the Big West has been the best league in the country. And I don't see that slowing down or changing anytime soon. We're going to continue to attract top talent and produce championship caliber teams year after year.
After diving into all the interviews, breaking down the teams, and sharing the inside tidbits, we are officially set for the season ahead. Rob, what has you most excited for the upcoming season?
There are actually two things that have me excited for the 2026 season. NCAA Division I-II expansion, with some teams starting competition in their first season, while another is restarting their program. And of course, the NCAA tournament expanding to 12 teams. My bold prediction, the Big West with 3 teams in the NCAA 12-team tournament bracket.
Awesome. Good stuff, Rob. Before we go, remember the Hawaiian Islands presents the 2026 Outrigger Big West Men's Volleyball Championship is set for April 23rd through the 25th at the Bren Event Center on the campus of UC Irvine.
For event and ticket information, please visit us at bigwest.org/MVBchamps.
We leave you with a look at the 2026 Big West Men's Volleyball preseason poll and all-conference team as selected by our coaches. For Rob Aspero, I'm Chloe Clark. Thank you for watching and enjoy the season.